The wind howled through the streets like a living thing, whipping snow into sharp, stinging needles that cut through clothing and skin alike. On the corner of 5th and Main, a young woman clutched a tiny bundle against her chest, her fingers numb and shaking. Her baby, no more than a few months old, whimpered softly, tiny cheeks streaked with tears and cold. The city, usually bustling and indifferent, seemed frozen tonight, not just by the snowstorm, but by its own quiet neglect. She had nowhere to go, no one to call, and with each gust of icy wind her hope dwindled. Her name was Lily. Once she had dreamed of a simple, happy life, a life filled with laughter and warmth. But fate had been cruel. A series of misfortunes had left her alone, penniless, and forced to survive on the unforgiving streets. She had tried shelters, begged for work, and even asked strangers for help. The world seemed to turn its back at every opportunity. Tonight, with the storm raging, survival itself was a question. She saw a light in the distance. The glass doors of a luxury hotel glowed warmly, an oasis of comfort she had never known. Inside, she imagined, people laughed, dined, and took life for granted. And yet, something in her heart urged her forward. She tightened her scarf, cradled her baby, and stumbled through the knee-deep snow, praying for a miracle. When she reached the entrance, the doorman barely glanced at her. "You can't come in," he said, his voice cold, almost mechanical. "It's a private event tonight." Lily's voice trembled as she spoke. "Please, I have nowhere to go. My baby, he's cold. I just need a place to stay tonight." The man hesitated, then shook his head, leaving her on the icy doorstep. Desperation made her bold. She pushed open the side door, hoping no one would notice, and slipped inside. The warmth hit her immediately, wrapping around her like a blanket she had been dreaming of, but her relief was short-lived. A man appeared in the lobby, tall, impeccably dressed, with a presence that commanded attention. He had a gaze that seemed to see through everything, past the doors, past the walls, past the masks people wore. He was Ethan Drake, one of the youngest billionaires in the country, known for his sharp business acumen and even sharper reputation. He looked at Lily and the tiny baby in her arms with a mixture of surprise and curiosity. "What are you doing here?" he asked, his voice calm but carrying the weight of authority. "I have nowhere to go," she stammered, tears streaking her face. "Please, just for tonight, I just need shelter from the storm." Ethan studied her for a long moment, noting the worn coat, the trembling hands, the exhausted eyes. He could have called security, had her removed, but something in him softened. A memory flickered. His own childhood, when he had known fear and hunger and the bitter sting of rejection. He said finally. Lily blinked in disbelief but obeyed. He led her up a grand staircase to a suite she could never have imagined. Plush carpets, warm lights, a roaring fireplace. It was a palace compared to the freezing streets outside. He gestured toward the sofa. "Set, your baby must be freezing." As Lily unwrapped her child and laid him in a borrowed blanket, the storm outside raged on. Ethan returned with hot cocoa and a soft blanket, sitting a respectable distance away, giving her space but offering silent support. Lily's hands shook as she sipped the cocoa, tears spilling over, not from the cold but from the overwhelming kindness of a stranger who, by all appearances, had every reason to ignore her. "I don't know how to thank you," she whispered. "I don't even know your name." "Ethan," he replied simply. "You don't need to thank me. Just stay warm tonight." The hours passed slowly. Lily told him bits of her story, her voice tentative at first but growing stronger. She spoke of lost jobs, of struggles to feed her child, of nights spent shivering under bridges. Ethan listened without judgment, asking questions gently, occasionally offering advice but mostly just listening, a rare gift for someone who had been ignored by the world. By morning, the storm had passed, leaving a sparkling, white city in its wake. Lily faced a new challenge, the reality of her life outside this temporary haven. Ethan knew she couldn't stay forever, but he also saw potential, resilience, and courage in her. "I have a company," he said suddenly, almost casually, but with a weight that made her heart skip. "We could use someone like you. Entry-level work, but you'd have a roof over your head, and we provide childcare. If you're willing to work, I can help you get back on your feet." Lily stared at him, disbelief mixing with hope. You mean it?" "I do," he said simply. "Not everyone gets a second chance. But you deserve one." With tears welled in her eyes, she had gone from a freezing corner in a snowstorm to the possibility of a future, all because someone saw her worth when the world had turned away. She accepted his offer, and in the months that followed, Lily worked tirelessly. Her child thrived under proper care, and she slowly rebuilt her life. Through her journey, she discovered not only the strength she never knew she had but also the importance of compassion, empathy, and the transformative power of kindness. Years later, she would walk through the same snow-covered streets, not as a beggar, but as a woman who had been given a chance to rise. And though she never forgot the fear and cold of that night, she also never forgot Ethan's answer, an answer that changed everything: simple, human, and unbelievably generous, because sometimes the smallest act of kindness can create the biggest miracles.